Social media has made our most private thoughts part of the public domain. Whether we make a post or someone catches us misbehaving on camera, it might as well be posted to the world just like the bat signal. But just because we can say and do as we please, it doesn't mean that there are consequences. Here are 10 times when social media got people fired from their jobs. We are always trying to cover the most interesting topics here at The Richest. Be a part of our crew by subscribing to our channel and click on the gray bell to turn on those pesky notifications. Beard updates. When you're at work, you're expected to stay on task so you can do quality work. A lot of jobs will block social media sites from their servers so that their employees aren't tempted to browse social media. However, that doesn't stop their workers from sharing stuff from their phones. Todd Thomas learned the hard way that he needed to stop posting on Facebook so much during his workday. He ended up getting fired from his civilian job at the US Army because of his updates on how his beard was growing. He was accused of committing conduct that was unbecoming to a federal employee. Thomas apparently was caught sleeping on the job, lied about his qualifications, and he was posting more on Facebook than doing his actual job. Apparently, people had to go back and fix his mistakes on numerous occasions. Plus, Thomas posted about the song "I Hate to Go to Work" by the Phila Fresh crew. If you hate going to work that bad, you might not want to post it on social media. After his termination, Thomas tried to file for unemployment benefits, but given the nature of his firing and its ties to social media, that definitely did not work out for him. Hold my drink. Maybe this is a case of a mountain being made out of a molehill. If you're of the legal drinking age, how many photos of yourself drinking have you posted to social media? Sometimes even the most innocent glass of wine or beer can cause someone to lose their job. In 24-year-old Ashley Payne's case, a photo of her drinking both wine and beer while vacationing in Europe in 2009 ended up costing her a teaching job. While she was teaching at Appalachian High School in Winder, Georgia, she was summoned to the principal's office. As it turns out, a parent spotted Payne's photo and filed a complaint. School officials were offended by not only her double fisting of her alcoholic beverages, but also the use of the B word. The photo was interpreted as her endorsing alcohol and drinking, and of sending the wrong message to her high school students. She was given 2 options by the principal: resign or be suspended. Payne chose to resign and then entered a legal battle to get her job back. Considering that teachers are expected to hold a certain image, Payne's photos definitely seem to send the wrong sort of message. Public nuisance. If you're posting all of your shenanigans on Facebook, you might want to make sure that you can supply your source of income and be your own boss. In the case of Jake Paul, he makes millions every year thanks to his own social media ventures and Team 10. When he was cast as Dirk on the Disney Channel show Bizaardvark, he was pretty much playing a fictionalized version of himself. While he wasn't filming for Disney, he was still running his social media empire. After he rented a mansion for Team 10, reports from the neighborhood were saying that he was turning the residential area into a war zone. One of his shenanigans included draining his pool and setting all of his furniture on fire. Of course, it was all posted on social media. When people realized that Paul was pretty much turning into a public nuisance and posting the proof himself, Disney ended up stepping in. Considering that the company is dependent on a wholesome image and being a good citizen, they ended up terminating his contract with the show. Paul and Disney said the decision was a mutual agreement, but Paul took it further, saying he ended the ties, which if you sign a contract with a bigwig like Disney, you just don't leave a contract. #FreeCrunkBear. What would you do if you found out your teacher was into the same recreational activities as you? Carly McKinney was a math teacher at Overland High School in Aurora, Colorado, who happened to be quite generous with her Twitter account. She was also known as Carly Crunkbear on the social media site, where she often posted revealing photos of herself, including ones of her smoking pot. This was the time before pot was legalized, so her actions were a big no-no. Her account was filled with statements encouraging smoking and drinking, plus she was literally half-clothed, or not at all, with her hands covering her privates. So yeah, that wasn't appropriate content for a teacher. At first, McKinney was placed on administrative leave, and then she was finally let go from the school district. But what people didn't expect was that her students stuck up for their teacher and started using hashtags like FreeCrunkBear and TeamCrunkBear. Considering that McKinney was just 23 when all this was going down, she was probably a favorite among the staff. Plus, who knows how many high school boys were looking at her Twitter account and developing major crushes on their math teacher. Nearly did what? Most of us know that the police force has been dealing with some hefty damage control issues, especially in the United States. There seems to be a new story each day about someone getting hurt or losing their life from a mistake made by a police officer. From being accused of being racist to getting trigger-happy with their weapons, the local authorities are having to watch their backs and make sure that they are properly training their task force. This is also involving a lot of conversations with local communities and encouraging dialogue between cops and their citizens. So when 23-year-old Deputy Austin Callis posted on Snapchat that there was nothing like almost shooting someone to get your head right, it caused a huge uproar. Since cops are being accused of purposefully hurting suspects, this Snapchat post did not help things at all. Plus, it's rather disturbing to think that someone in a position of authority would openly admit that they may not have the best judgment. Callis was placed on administrative leave and then subsequently fired by the Pinellas Police Department in Florida. Between posting on social media and possibly being trigger-happy, Callis is better off turning in his badge for the sake of the safety of his community. Well, you've made it halfway through the video. Let's take a break with a quiz. Here's your question. We've been talking about how social media can get a person fired. But can social media get a person hired? Find out at the end of the video. The First Lady. In case this is ever a question, racism is bad. Racist remarks are bad. Just because you feel a certain way towards a specific group of people and you have the right to express it, it doesn't mean that you're exempt from any consequences that come your way. When you use social media as a platform to make racist remarks, you're putting yourself at risk of some major backlash. In the case of Jane Wood Allen, she lost her job as a teacher's aide at Chastity Elementary after she made a Facebook post that called the former First Lady Michelle Obama a poor gorilla. The term was derogatory and racist, and the school got a lot of calls regarding Allen's choice of words. Despite any damage control she tried, it was further pointed out that this wasn't the first time she called Mrs. Obama a gorilla. She posted, "I admire a gorilla more than I admire her." Wait, I forgot, she is a gorilla. Not too long before she made the post that got her fired. Allen had been working at the school since 1989, and this probably wasn't the way that she imagined leaving her job. Censored tweet video. Talking about anything relating to politics is a sensitive issue for a lot of people these days. Most are using social media to express their beliefs, criticize, and vent about current events. Daniel Grillo had a nice cushy job at a Chicago financial firm called Liberty Advisor Group, but he seemed to have an issue when Karen Owens was acknowledged by Trump. Her husband was William Ryan Owens, a Navy SEAL who lost his life in the line of duty in Yemen. Trump was acknowledging Owens during one of his speeches to Congress, and the room was filled with applause as she had tears running down her face. An important and moving moment. Grillo wasn't convinced. Instead of being moved, he tweeted, "Sorry, Owens' wife. You're not helping yourself or your husband's memory by standing there and clapping like an idiot. Trump just used you." Needless to say, people were mad and made calls to Grillo's workplace, and even 4chan and Reddit got involved in the drama. Grillo ended up losing his job, mainly because his continued presence would have made a negative impact on the company. Live peep show. If you're in a relationship with someone, you may have sent some naughty photos and video to your significant other. Double and triple check who the receiver is before you hit that send button. Otherwise, you might end up like Lynn Dorsey, who accidentally sent her nude livestream to her work's Instagram account instead of to her husband. For anyone who has sent a text to the wrong person, amplify this feeling by 1000%, and you might get a glimpse of the humiliation that she was feeling. The 61-year-old tourism director admitted that it was an accident, but the board for the Webster Parish Convention and Visitors Bureau voted to fire her. Apparently, Dorsey got an attorney and was considering filing a lawsuit. The situation was definitely more embarrassing to Dorsey than the company, so many people thought it was unfair for her to lose her job. She also didn't realize that the live stream was happening until she was notified by the Press Herald. You could call this a situation where older people need a 101 class on using social media. There was a clear misunderstanding as to what she was broadcasting and whether she realized the video wasn't private. Feral photo. If you're going to post a photo, you might not want to include your co-worker's underage kid. Gerard Roth not only posted a pic of himself with 3-year-old Caden Jace, but the post quickly turned racist, and Roth even chimed in saying that the boy was feral and that he was running wild in the projects. His friends commented with jokes insinuating that Caden was his slave. They called him Kunta Kinte from Alex Haley's Roots, and they assumed he was poor and hungry. This started a massive backlash that not only resulted in Roth losing his job at Polaris Marketing Group, but his friends lost their jobs as well. He did send an apology email to Caden's mom, Sydney Shelton, but the damage was already done. Why did he use that picture in the first place? Roth, also known as Garris Hilton on Facebook, posted the photo as a replacement for his profile photo because his girlfriend wanted to remove herself from social media while she was looking for a new job. Roth, desperate for a new profile picture, decided that a photo with Caden would take her place. Well, that went over like a lead balloon. Fargo confrontation. Sometimes you can lose your job because of social media without making a single post. In the case of Amber Elizabeth Hensley, she lost her job at a CPA firm after she told 3 Somali women that they were going to lose their life. This all took place in a Walmart parking lot. Because where else, right? According to Hensley, she was angry with Walmart's customer service because they had workers who couldn't speak English and lost her cool. She saw the 3 young women in the parking lot after they parked too close to her car and went off on them. Apparently, there was name-calling on both ends, but once Hensley sounded like she was threatening their lives, the 3 women brought their phones out and started recording. The videos were posted on Snapchat, and it didn't take long for internet warriors to figure out who Hensley was and found out where she worked. The CPA firm ended up fielding calls all day from concerned people, with as many as 3 phones going off at once. Hensley later posted a Facebook message sending her apologies to the 3 women. While the damage was done, the women did acknowledge her apology. Can social media get a person hired? It certainly did for Frederick Callison, who was homeless, but instead of asking for money, he was handing out resumes. Michael Martin saw Callison and posted his photo and story on Facebook, which ended up getting Callison a job. Well, does this inspire you to be a little more careful about what you do on social media? Let us know in the comments. Feel free to give this video a like. Before you post about this video, take a moment to make sure you're subscribed to our channel and be sure to check out some of our other videos. And hey, we'll see you next time.